Ross, you've been following this story all weekend long, and it is changing by the minute. What is the latest you are hearing about the BYU LSU game and where it will happen on Saturday?
Yeah, it sure is. It seems like a very fluid situation, and things do continue to change. This morning we were able to get confirmation from a few cities and a few bowl stadium sites that they've been contacted by ESPN to host the game, and those, of course, include New Orleans, which is something we had reported yesterday, but the new ones are Nashville and Orlando and Dallas at the old Cotton Bowl. We're under the belief that Jacksonville is in the mix, too. We haven't heard from anybody at Jacksonville, but so those are kind of the four new cities, and I would put, from what I understand, I'd put Orlando pretty high up there among them. It sure seems like right now, at 47 Central Time, that Orlando and in New Orleans are the two top sites.
So Baton Rouge is out of the mix.
It sure seems like I guess you can't rule out anything, first of all, but it sure seems like ESPN, who's really making the decision here, that they want to keep it at a neutral site. So again, I don't think you can rule out any site. We did write a good bit yesterday about Tiger Stadium and how it could be a host. Going back and forth with New Orleans and Tiger Stadium. But it looks like, just for the fact that ESPN is contacting some of these sites that are so far away, even from LSU, that they don't, for whatever reason, don't want it on campus.
Ross, if there is a team that can understand the dramatics and very unfortunate natural disaster that's happening in Houston, it's LSU. I mean, they dealt with this with Hurricane Katrina. What's the feeling around the team and the sentiment in regard to what's happening in Houston, and how is this affecting LSU football?
Yeah, well, we certainly know all about it here. The city of Baton Rouge, the area in South Louisiana, knows about hurricanes and natural disasters. This is nothing new as far as a game location. In the the question about the location is nothing new for LSU. They've dealt with this exact situation kind of several different times over the last few years. This will be the fourth game that has been affected by weather in the last 2+ years at LSU. They had a season opener in 2015, got canceled because of lightning against McNeese State. Also in 2015, it was kind of a situation like this. They were supposed to play at South Carolina. There was a flood in South Carolina, and the game was moved to Baton Rouge, and it was moved to Baton Rouge on Wednesday before the game. So they waited all the way to Wednesday that week. I don't think that's going to happen this week. And then, of course, last year they had the hurricane hit Florida. LSU was supposed to play in Gainesville, Florida, and that game was moved and then relocated to Baton Rouge. So it's been a crazy couple of years.
Yeah, I know Florida fans were very excited about that move to Baton Rouge.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you look at the timeline of this, do you think this is decided today?
I wouldn't say that. I certainly wouldn't predict that it's decided anytime early today or early afternoon, because these stadiums have to put together proposals to host the game, and that takes a little time. And I think for instance, the New Orleans proposal, it's not even in yet. They haven't sent it in to the Houston Texans, to the ESPN guy, the game officials. So that has to happen. They've got to create these proposals. So it could drag on probably into the night tonight, potentially. I would think they have a deadline of at some point tomorrow.
Ross Dellenger, LSU beat reporter for The Advocate in Baton Rouge, with us on BYU Sports Nation. We obviously don't know where the game will happen or specifically when it will happen, but we do know that if it happens, LSU is a very talented football team, one of the top 15 teams in the country, and highlighted by a projected first-round draft pick in defensive end Arden Key. His status, from what we can tell, has improved, and we're wanting to know if he's actually going to play in the game against BYU.
Yeah, we want to know that too. It's not something that, as of now, we know. Now, later this afternoon, we'll talk to Ed Orgeron at his weekly news conference on the Monday before each game, and we'll kind of find out a little more about Arden Key's status. I have a feeling, But I'll be honest, the way Ed Orgeron has talked and the way people around LSU have talked for a while, I would not expect Arden Key to play in the game. That would really surprise me.
Ross, great stuff. Again, we appreciate the time amidst your busy schedule, and we'll follow you closely on Twitter for all of those updates.
All right. Thanks, y'all.